We were down by God's Son there and source of the message. We talked about the seven spirits, the Holy Spirit, seven spirits. I believe we were on God's Son. Is that where everybody else has? Okay. And that line where it has God's Son, I put Jesus Christ. I believe I said that, so you may have written that in there. But anyway, there's three things that you look at. So let's read again. Let's read 4 through 8. Let's read 4 through 8. Revelation.
John, to the seven churches that are in Asia, grace to you and peace from him who is, who was, and who is to come. From the seven spirits who are before his throne. From Jesus Christ, the faithful witness, the first one of the dead, and the ruler of the kings of the earth. To him who loved us and released us from our sin by his blood. And he has made us to be a kingdom, priest to his God and Father. To him be the glory and the dominion forever and ever. Amen. Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, even those who pierced him. And all the tribes of the earth will mourn over him. Even so, amen. On the Alpha and Omega, says the Lord God, who is, who was, and who is to come, and all that.
Okay. And that's where we are. We talked in the first sheet, and number 7. As 1, 2, and 3. We're in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on this the last the sheet. So the three things that we see on God's Son there that was read. What's the first thing that we see in verse 5? Talking about Jesus Christ. Faithful witness. Okay. And so when we talk about what we call the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Okay, we talk about the eternal God, the Father, the Holy Spirit, and now we're talking about Jesus Christ. He was a faithful witness. Somebody read John 3:32. Somebody else turn to John 18:37. If you want to put those words down, you can. Doesn't matter. So I need John 3:32 and John 18:37. Anytime you get it, just go ahead and read it.
And what he has seen and heard, that he testifies, and no one receives his testimony.
Okay. What do we see?
Therefore Pilate said to him, so you are a king. Jesus answered, you say correctly that I am a king. For this I have been born, for this I have come into the world to testify to the truth, and one who is my voice.
Okay, it's interesting that we see he was a faithful witness, and what we saw read was when he came to witness to those things that God had promised, God's plan that's talked about Sunday morning. Did the word receive it? And then we know that the world didn't receive it because we read in 18, he's before Pilate getting ready to do what? What's going to happen to him? Yeah. Okay. And he came to testify, and they just didn't listen to him. They put him on the cross. Okay, but he was a faithful witness. The only one. I put it on here also. He is a faithful witness, meaning the only one on whom we can rely. Okay. Whatever he said, we can rely on. That's what Jared said. Okay. We understand that. All right. The second thing is what? Firstborn, what? Of the dead. Okay. Somebody read Colossians 1:18.
Thus, when him the body, the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, so that he himself might come to have first place in everything.
Okay. What? Now, we don't want to think of this as Jesus being what? When you think of firstborn,
First child.
we don't think of him as being a first child. He was what? He was Godhead when he God the Son. Okay. But he was housed in this tent. Okay, 2 Corinthians 5. He was housed in this tent. That's really what John 1:14 is. That he was housed in this fleshly thing, which also tells us that the Spirit is what lives. Okay, and it'll live on. Okay, and so really, the firstborn from the dead also has to do with he is preeminent over all things. Okay? Preeminence over creation and all things. Okay?
And it means he's the first one that was born from the dead.
It means he's the first one risen. Yeah, right. But it doesn't mean, we don't want to think of him as a fleshly mother and father kind of firstborn. That's what I'm getting at. He has preeminence over creation.
Others are raised from the dead before him, but not, like Lazarus
Mhm.
or
Yeah,
child.
but he retained his glory. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'll talk to you about him being the spirit.
Okay.
They're totally off. Difference between soul and spirit. Simple, maybe a simple explanation.
When you read certain places that have talked about the soul of man or the spirit of man, or talks about loving with all your soul, with all your heart, with all your mind, those kind of things. Sometimes soul has to do with the body part, the mind part, and then the spirit has to do with the eternal inside, that which will live forever. Okay. And sometimes the soul is both. Okay, it depends on how it is looked at in Scripture. So when you look in the Old Testament, basically the soul has to do with the entire, encompasses all. Okay, so because they really didn't talk about the spirit of man much in the Old Testament. Because man didn't understand that. Now, I understand Ecclesiastes. Well, I understand there's places where it talks about the spirit returns to God who gave it, and the dust returns to understand that. But yeah, there's a distinction given in certain places with soul and spirit, and then there are places where when we talk about the soul, it really encompasses it all. Okay.
Do you think everything would have a soul, including animals?
You don't see the soul in animals mentioned.
Well, I know we're getting off topic. You just said spirit, it reminded me, spirit is just Tiffany studying with her neighbor yesterday.
Yeah.
And she asked Tiffany about, of course, dogs would be heavy with this. So, we must think about soul and spirit being separate. Anyway, so stuff like that. But I'm real quickly, I just got thought.
Well, there are many, especially the way people treat dogs now. They treat dogs better than they do human beings. I mean, you step on a dog and, I mean, the government's ready to throw you in jail or something. You step on a kid, it's like, oh, well, take the dog.
Anyway, that's not the other one. I just, well, he's being spirit, I just talk online. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, here's the thing. If you go back to Genesis 1, and it talks about the sixth day, what does it talk about happened on the sixth day? It's real easy.
Created his own.
What first happened? He created man and what? But what did he create before that?
Animal.
Animals. And then he says he created man as his own image.
Yeah.
So man, and an animal doesn't have, animals are trained.
Yeah.
You don't-
That's where,
You know,
John
if you-
4:24 and.
Yeah,
there's
John
a-
4:4. Right.
All that.
Yeah.
Anyway, she just has some stuff about being soul, spirit separate, so everything, animals, so on Church of Christ's side, animals have souls, so I was kind of confused by that comment, so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But in that case, if that's written, if something's written like that, it should be the body.
And they want to talk about it.
Okay, but there's not gonna be any animals. I mean, when your dog dies, you might as well just forget it, you're not gonna see it again, but, or if you have a special cow, if you have a special cow with a bell on it.
We'll see the cow in the freezer.
Yeah.
And it's gonna taste good too.
Okay.
It was interesting because, Catholic priest was on the, Fox and Friends one morning, and, they asked him about animals being in heaven. Well, the dogs and the cats, somebody called in or something. I can't remember exactly how it went down. Anyway, will dogs and cats be in heaven with you after you die? Will you agree? And he said, yeah. He said, yeah. I guess the dogs don't go to purgatory. I say just wait for them in heaven. I
He
don't
was absolutely wrong about cats.
know.
Hey, Ernie, I got a question, because they both kind of hit on it. But the comment, firstborn,
Yeah,
talking about you. And he mentioned, like Lazarus and others, and the child that you had noted that they had died, and even Lazarus, he had waited to go until after he died, and he revived him or whatever. Is firstborn also not a comment of like master of the dead or controller of that destiny? Is that?
the word that is talked about here is preeminence. He has preeminence over the dead, is what it's really talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was.
And that kind of goes to what you were asking, I think, goes to like the firstborn had certain privileges that the others did not, okay? The firstborn had a preeminence over the others, and that's what it's talking about, okay? So but he was the firstborn to be risen, so he had preeminence over the dead, okay? I was just trying to make sure nobody was thinking of the physical,
Right, yeah, that's what.
like it was a child being the firstborn raised. All right, ruler of the kings of the earth. Let's just do 1 Timothy 6:15. That's a good scripture.
Are we on? I know that.
Ruler of the kings of
Right
the
after
earth.
the dogs.
Oh, Okay, Ruler of the Kings, I just want to.
What was the chapter? 1 Timothy 3,
1 Timothy 6:15.
6:15.
Somebody should read that. That's a common verse. Don't use it very much. Not interesting.
Which he will manifest in his own time. He who is blessed and only potentate, the King of kings and the Lord of lords.
Yeah, King of Kings, he's the King of Kings. Interesting. Timothy makes it. Well, let's go on. The effect of the message. It's interesting because he talks about, the first thing there is love, okay? To him who loves us. And so love is one of the effects of the message, and the word there in the tense is continual action. It continues. He loves us, and he continues to love us. Okay? And will continue to love us. So love and continual action. The second thing is freedom from sin is the effect of the message. By his blood. Okay? By his blood. That's continual action also. He shed his blood in the beginning, and his blood still works continually today. Okay? And once we reach it, it continually works for us. All right? And then the next thing is royal service, because he's made us a kingdom of priests. Okay? A royal service. Something we didn't have before. Come to the King of Kings. And then the other thing I put down is that we have holy praise, the purpose of God's eternal plan, glory and dominion. Okay, that's what the glory and dominion is, and holy praise. So we have love, freedom from sin, royal service, and holy praise. And then what's the judgment of the message? Interesting that he has here. First of all, I think it's interesting. There's an argument about, just like, there's a lot of these verses now, I'm going to tell you, especially since you've written these down, I'm going to tell you that if you go study them out in some commentaries or some whatever articles, they're not going to jive who wrote this down here, okay? Because everybody has their own opinions about, well, when was this written? Why was this written? And then you have the millennial messages, and what is the kingdom, all that kind of stuff. And so if you write that and say, well, that ain't right, but look, Ernie's not right, or whatever, I could be wrong, okay? But if you keep these, you're going to be close to being right, because you're not going to find a lot of this in one commentary. Okay, I mean, I've looked at about 13 commentaries to get this good. There's a lot of work that's gone into this, and I've taken what I consider to be the closest that I believe in here. So I'm just telling you, I don't think I've not put the things that I put in here are not necessarily could actually be not 100% correct, but it doesn't detract from the content. Okay, some of the things will certainly detract, but like I said, if you keep these sheets and you write down what's here, it's good. You can, especially those who's going to preach. By the time you have all these lessons in Revelation, you'll have enough sermons to last 5 years just from it. Okay, guaranteed. I don't mean just from what's written here, but a start and some outlines and stuff that you can use. I don't mean just teaching Revelation. I'm talking about there's so much in Revelation we're not going to cover even here. I know we take a long time to get just down to 8 verses, but I haven't touched the surface of what's in these 8 verses.
So you're saying it's gonna take you 5 years to?
No, I'm not getting anywhere. We're not, I don't know how deep, I wasn't gonna get this deep, but, I feel like chapter 1 is the introduction to Revelation. If you can just kind of get the feel of 1, and then we'll look at 2 and 3. But if you just get the feel of 1, you pretty much can get the feel of what the book, why it was written, who it was written to, and it shouldn't be. I'm hoping when we're done that we're not more confused, but I'm hoping that when we're done that you feel a lot more comfortable, because the book itself is a book to be understood, and it's not that hard for the message. Now, there's a lot in it that's hard. I don't know. There's a lot in it people just don't know. Okay, we'll come to some that I just don't know what it is. But I can tell you almost every verse can be arguable. If you want to dig about 13 commentaries, read them. You can argue with me about every verse if you want to. Okay, so I'm just telling you that. All right. But I believe that the scholars that I've taken the main concepts of these from, they don't all agree with this, but I think I've stayed with pretty much from my knowledge of the New Testament and the Old Testament. I feel like this is about as close as I can get right now. Now, 10 years from now, I may teach the class just like all the scholars do. They always say, it's like a lesson. I'll guarantee you, the lesson that Bo and Jared give right now, I'll guarantee you, if they grow in 20 years, that lesson won't be anything like they get. I guarantee you. Scholars will tell you, man, I wrote that book. I wish I could take that book away. I'm writing so much different today, and you will. That's growing. Okay, that's growing. So anyway, I hope my lessons aren't the same as they were 30 years ago when I started here. I know they're worse. Anyway, that's just some encouragement. That's not a discouragement, that's an encouragement. Okay. All right. The other of the message is, I want you to notice 7. What does it say? He's coming. And so the judgment is visible to every eye. It says will see him. Every eye will see him. Now, here's what I'm going to say, and forget it, because I'm not telling you all the things that this could mean, that verses could mean, because that just confused you. Okay. But some would say here, this is talking about when he comes in judgment that is talked about in the book. Okay. That judgment of the time soon to come, they're saying, but it doesn't fit the context. Okay? Because it says, behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, even those who pierced him. Well, if you take that concept of, and here's my rationale. If you take that concept that the judgment that he's talking about here, every eye will see him, is only those people in that time frame, that kind of leaves out a lot of people, doesn't it? Think about that. Every eye will see him, even those who pierced him. Probably, when you look at the span of a few centuries here that this book is, those every eye will see him, even those that pierced him. I assume those that pierced him are dead. Okay? So who's going to be resurrected to see him?
Everybody.
It says every eye. Okay? So the context seems to be the end of time. Matthew 5, 20, 29. Every eye. Okay? And so I'm just telling you, that fits the context to me. I don't see how you can use the other, but again, you may read some books and commentaries and articles that will change that, okay? So, all right. And notice the second thing. This is interesting. This book has so much. That's why I'm telling you, if you take these and you study, okay? I don't mean you just go to the internet and grab something and use it. I mean, if you study, okay? You really want to learn. Notice what it says here. He's coming with a cloud. Every eye will see him, even those who pierced him. And then what does it say? There'll be a time of sorrow. Notice what it says. All the tribes of the earth will mourn over him. Think about that. We should be happy to see him. But there's going to be many that's not. So it's sorrowful. Tribes of the earth will mourn. And then the third thing, see, just this verse alone, you could probably have 6 sermons. Just this verse alone.
Why does it say all will mourn? I mean, you would think some people might be happy. I mean, does it mean everybody, absolutely everybody's going to be sad to see him come?
I don't think that that's what he's saying here. I think he's saying that every eye will see him, even those who pierced him, so there will be mourning. Because when he comes, all the verses that talk to us don't talk about the mourning. I'm talking about the talk about Christians. This to me is saying that there's a time that those that realize that have not lived accordingly, either they weren't baptized or they were baptized and didn't live right. I think there's a time that they're going to say, "Oh no," okay, and there'll be mourning. That fits the text. It doesn't fit the text that the Christians are going to mourn. Christians should be happy.
You're also saying that those that pierced him didn't really think they did anything wrong when they pierced him.
Is that what I just said?
Well, that's what the indication I got.
Oh, I think they're going to know. I don't know the spirit world, so I don't know the concept of how you know and how you don't know it. I don't think you will know it and not know it in the concept that I'm talking to you here.
Right.
Okay. But obviously, to me, if what I've called and what Dwight brought up that the World Video Bible School has about the great gulf, Luke 16, 2 Peter 2, and those, if that's correct, we don't know if that's correct. I never teach that that's correct. I teach that this is the philosophy of many scholars. Okay. I don't know of any scholars that say absolute on that. I know a lot of denominational that say that's not going to happen. That's not it. You go straight to heaven. But you have to be careful, because what we've done is we made a doctrine out of Luke 16, the great gulf in the Hadean world. And I understand that he says the gates of, King James says the gates of hell, but it's really Hades. And Hades is the place of the dead. Under the Old Testament, Sheol meant the grave. Okay? They didn't understand the concept of the Hadean world. They understood the concept of Sheol, a place where the dead, you bury the dead. That's what S-H-E-O-U-L had to do with it. Okay? And so, we have made a doctrine and a concept, and this is pretty much what most of the scholars say, but I know some scholars that argue with you right now that that's not what will happen. Okay? So, anytime we preach something that man has made a doctrine of, we got to be real careful. Right? We do. We have to. I've taught that, but I've never taught that that's it. This is what we think and what scholars think, but not all scholars, even Church of Christ, agree with that. Okay. So to answer your question, if that is true, They already know there's weeping gnashing teeth, but they're there where there's an uncomfortable rest, okay? But I understand the concept of the Hadean world, because he says, my soul will not be left in Hades, and then we see it in Acts 2, where that promise that he made in Matthew 16 is fulfilled there in Acts 2. So we use that, and we use paradise because of the thief on the cross. So what we've done is we've taken 3 or 4 places and made a scriptural doctrine, which may be true, may not be true. We don't know. We don't know. Okay. In all honesty, we don't know. I don't know of any scholars that are absolute on it. This is what they think, but I've never read where this is exactly what happens. But this has been carried down through the last couple of years. Okay, so we got to be careful. Anyway, and I don't know if I answered your question or not. I kind of you asked me if this is everybody. I think, and I said I don't think it is. Okay. Because if you look at 1 Thessalonians 4, what is he trying to tell us? What's 1 Thessalonians 4 trying to tell us? Start with verse 13. What does he say? And how does he end it?
But I do not want you to be ignorant, brethren, that lest you sorrow others who have no hope.
Okay, and it goes on to say that every eye is going to see it. There will be those that come back, and then those that's lifted up. And then what does he say as he ends that chapter? That's not the end of his letter, but that's the end of his chapter. What does he say?
Encourage one another with these words.
Encourage one another with these words. Okay. And every time you see this is that he, what did Paul say in 2 Timothy 4? He looked forward. You know, in Philippians 1, he said, I really look forward to death, because death to me, to die is gain. But while I'm still living, I gotta continue in Christ Jesus and preach and teach. And then when you look at 2 Timothy, the 4th chapter, he talks about he's fought the good fight, he's kept the faith. Henceforth there's laid up to me a what? Crown of righteousness, but not to me only, but all those who what?
Have
Love his appearance. That tells me that Paul's not going to be unhappy when Christ comes back. He knows what's laying for him. You know, he's done it. He's there. And see, the thing at Thessalonica, problem was Thessalonica was what? What was the big problem at Thessalonica? They had a few others, but what was the big problem? What was they really concerned about? He talks about it in 1 Thessalonians and 2 Thessalonians, almost every chapter. The second coming. They were worried to death about something. They were worried to death because they'd seen their parents, their brothers and sisters, they'd seen others go before them, and they thought, well, if Christ comes down and he comes for me, what's going to happen to those that went before? I don't. They live a Christian life here. What's happening? And what does he tell them? I don't want you to be ignorant. I want you to know that all will be lifted up. And all will meet together in the air. Now, I don't know how all that's going to happen. Okay. I mean, I don't know how the judgment day is going to happen. I don't have any idea. We can make speculation, make a doctrine about that if we want to go to 3 or 4 different persons, just like we have the Hadean. But there seems to be an Hadean world. So that's why I say, if there is, fine. If there isn't, yet. We just know that that's how Jesus uses it in Matthew 16. All right, let's see if we can finish. We need to, yeah. Oh, the last thing is that the judgment is certain. Think about that. If you want to preach a lesson on this, first of all, the visibility. I've already named some other persons you use, but the visibility of it. Nobody is going to escape. They're all going to see it, all of us. And second is, there's going to be some sorrowfulness. Right? That's what he's talking about when Christ comes, there's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. That doesn't mean for us. You know, I don't think we can comprehend. I don't think we can comprehend the second coming of Christ, the judgment scene, no matter how it is. I don't think we can comprehend it. I don't think we can comprehend Gehenna fire. Okay, the hellfire. That's what the Gehenna fire is. The hellfire. I don't think we can comprehend the weeping gnashing of teeth. I think we can. I think we think this fire is going to be something we reach our hand into. Oh, it's burning. The weeping gnashing of teeth is like having teeth problems, and, you know, maybe chawing at night or something. You know, it ain't mean anything like that. It ain't mean nothing. Okay. He's trying to give us something to let us know that it's going to be visible. We're going to know it. We're going to know it when he comes. Every eye's going to see him. There's going to be some weeping gnashing of teeth. But it's going to be certain. It says, so it is to be. It's going to be certain. Okay? If the Bible doesn't say anything, this verse says he's coming again. And we better comprehend it and live it like he is coming again. So there's the effect of the message of the love, and he's washed our sins in his blood, and he's made us a kingdom of priests. And the purpose of God's plan is to give him glory and dominion, and we also will receive that glory. Okay. And then visible, sorrowful, and certain. So there's about, we covered probably about 1 year sermons from 1 through 8.
Now, Ernie, I think I talked about, there was some question about if it's going to be everyone that'll be sorrowful. To some degree, I think a lot of us will be. I mean, I think if he was to come right now, I mean, how elated we would be, how happy, but at the same time, we all know somebody that's not ready. Maybe we're trying to teach somebody, or, you know, we have family members or whatever that we know aren't ready, and for them, I think there will be some degree of sorrow on our behalf.
Well,
In that instant, just
well, see,
maybe pleading.
there again, I have a problem. Because when he comes, I don't know when this Revelation 20 and 21 comes, not 20, Revelation 21, 22 comes into effect, because it said, being sorrowful. Will he really know, well, I really know if cold makes it or not, or will he really know if I make it or not? I'm not sure that it's going to be to that level. Now, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm just saying I have a problem, because in my studies, if I'm not going to be sorrowful, I'll be very sorrowful if any of you in here don't, but especially these two out here, just like you will your kids. But how will not be, how do you reconcile there'll be no sorrow if you know that you're going to be sorry? There's going to be sorry. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'm not,
How can
I don't know. But
It's how can you be happy if you know the people that you love are not there?
yeah, I mean, how's
That's the whole-
all that wiped out?
Yeah.
See, I just don't think we're going to
Well,
know each other in the same way.
No.
We all think we are. We all think, well, I'm going to see, but think of the billions of people or whatever. I don't know how many's going to make it. I assume over the 6,000 years, there's got to be a couple billion anyway. Out of the billions of people don't know who made it, who didn't make it. You know, I don't think that's kind of the spirit
I
world.
think we'll have a knowledge of his righteousness and the judgment, right? So at that point, we'll understand why people didn't make it. But yeah, that's a good.
The parable of the rich man and, or the
That's just
story
what I
about
was
the
thinking about.
rich man and the Lazarus kind of paints I think maybe it's more of a lesson than it would be reality.
Well, see, that argument there too is some say it's not parable. It's just Jesus. That's why I say we got to be careful when we use those type of parables and stuff. We got to be careful if that's factual or not. Now, I've taught on that parable, just that parable, and say, you know, it shows that there's a cognizance of something in the Hadean world. But there's also many scholars that say that's not a parable. That's just Jesus trying to
Explain.
explain, you know.
It makes
the way
more
that-
sense.
Yeah, so, I don't know, you know, that's why I say, you know, it's okay to teach those things, but it's also, we need to say, just because the World Visual Bible School has it on it, don't mean that's right either. Okay? You know, I don't agree with them on everything. But it's just, there, a lot of what I thought 30 years ago when I started here, I don't teach the same thing, I don't believe the same thing. You know? But I will argue with people that use those things the way I thought 30 years ago either. So, anyway, it's just that, and it was just like Garrett, I always thought, yeah, I will know everybody, but the more I study, the more I, for some about the spirit world, there's a connection there we just don't have any concept of, okay? And when it says no light there, but that doesn't mean anything as far as daylight and dark. You know, that doesn't mean that, you know, so I'm thinking, I don't think I'm gonna know Jerry. I think I'm gonna be busy praising God with Jerry's spirit if he's there. You know what I'm saying? That's me. I don't know, okay? I don't know.
All right. Ready for announcements?
So did we ever decide whether the dogs are gonna be in heaven?
Well,
I never did hear the answer.
We decided cats.
Oh, okay.
Only if you get I better bring my dog Sunday.
I just wanted to come like those people that are still involved in the
Hey, I
He obviously has not seen all dogs gonna have. Hey, guys.